for today's topic. All right, welcome. Super excited to be here with you on the last Wednesday of the month. Just gonna make sure that I am streaming on my Facebook page live. It's the only platform I am on right now, streaming online. And I did that purposely. So for those of you who do pop in and let me know that you are here, today's topic is, are you just going through the motion? This is my day 9 of, is it my day 9? No, actually, I think it's my day 10 of my 30-day challenge to share, teach, and inspire you based on strength training and everything in between. Let me introduce myself for those of you who are following me for the first time. Maybe you accidentally, which there's no such thing, bumped into this page while you were strolling. I'm Reverend Joanne Angel Barry Cologne, your holistic integrative teacher, Reiki master teacher, excuse me, card reader, card creator, certified and licensed holistic personal trainer, medical astrologer. Oh my God, I can go on and go on and go on. Anyways, I'm super excited to be here with you today. And why am I doing this crazy challenge for 30 days? Well, to start off with, wanting to get in front of you, wanting to share with you my wisdom of, oh my God, what, 40 something years of being in the health, fitness, and wellness industry. I've actually been in the industry since I'm 12 years old. And in regards to the what do they call it, the mystical and the woo-woo industry, I've actually tapped into that back in 2007-ish. So I've been blending the two together for quite some time now, and I actually help clients like yourself connect the physical and the spiritual realm as a holistic unity, because we are just one when we think about it. We are spiritual beings having many human experiences, and I truly believe that tapping into strength training, helping your body get strong, helping your mind get strong, keeps you in a state of being where you're not as emotionally in the cray station, as I like to call it, because it does help you to have confidence, feel stronger, think better, be more productive, be more motivated, and get shit done. And who doesn't want to get shit done? So a little backstory about me for those of you who may not know, and those who've been watching me regularly. Well, maybe you could get some water at this time, or hang in there, because who knows, you may hear it differently. Like I said, I've been in the health and fitness industry since I'm 12 years old. I have transformed more women's and men's lives than I can even count. I've transformed my own body as a natural competitive bodybuilder, former for that matter, as of right now. I have done more competitions that I can count. I have many trophies that I display on a shelf. In addition to that, I have transformed my body during pregnancy. I've had 2 major surgeries, a hip replacement, and prior to that hip replacement, I also had what they call the grapevine of fatty tumors sitting in my left hip that needed to be removed. And all throughout that, I continue my strength training to keep my body strong and healthy so I can recover quicker and get right back to where I was prior to. And that's one of the reasons why I encourage you to do the same. Today's topic, as indicated, is, are you just going through the motion? Now, theoretically, that could be a metaphor in reference to life. Are you just going through life? Are you just existing? Or do you have a plan? Do you get up with excitement and motivation, and like you literally jump out of bed being grateful for the fact that you were given another day, because our day, another day is a gift, and we mustn't take it for granted. And as we step into the world each day with the intentions of whatever the intentions are, the big question is, are you just going through the motion? Now, what this topic is really about is in reference to your workouts. Now, for you ladies over 40, this is really dedicated to all of you. And for you guys who are watching, I'm sure you know a handful of women over 40. Please encourage them to watch this video. I come to share, teach, and inspire you. My goal is every time I come and share something with you over these 30 days, that you walk away with some knowledge, and you'll also walk away with something that you can implement into your day based on strength training and being inspired as well. So if you strength train or you don't strength train, Maybe this will be the day that you start strength training. Maybe this will be the day you make the intention, be intentional about the fact that you want to be a healthy version of yourself. After all, when we talk about the energy of 2024 with Pluto in Aquarius, and yes, I do speak of astrology when I do speak of strength training, along with numerology and a bunch of other stuff that I talk about. So when we think about Pluto in Aquarius, it is about the vision that we carry for ourselves to be the best version of who we are, to be a stronger version of ourselves. And why is it so damn important to be a stronger version of ourselves? Well, I can only speak for me, why it's important for me to be strong. Well, to start off with, I do have to walk up. I live on the 3rd floor, which means I do have to walk up and down flights of stairs throughout the day, and I have to have the strength and the endurance to do just that, especially on those days where I do go grocery shopping and I want to get the groceries from the car up to the apartment. And I really only want to do it one time as opposed to up and down, up and down, up and down, which is a great way to theoretically burn calories. But why am I looking to do that when I can take the bags in my hand and up the stairs I go? So that's one of the reasons why being strong for me is so important. It's also about just being strong so I could do my functional things in my day, such as what I just spoke about. Being strong enough that whatever life throws at me, I'm emotionally, physically, and mentally strong. By strength training, it also encourages me to be productive and also be focused so I don't get distracted by everything that's going on in the world and around me, where we fall in the space of overwhelmness or distraction or anxiety for that matter. And anytime you're in a state of overwhelmness or anxiety, you know how you feel. It makes you feel a little shitty, where you really don't want to do anything and you're not able to problem solve very quickly because you're not feeling your best. And these are reasons why when you do strength train, you know how to navigate in your body. So when things do become a little crazy, you have specific tools that you can work with to bring yourself out of the craziness and bring yourself into more of a calmer state of being. So when I speak of the title for today, are you just going through the motion? Now, this is a reference to anybody who works out, whether you work out in a class or you work out on your own, whether you work out in the gym or you work out at home. Theoretically, you can work out anywhere. You don't need to be in a gym environment to work out. However, the concept of working out and the concept of getting results really plays the role of, are you just going through the motion? So, and I always use the examples like overhead press because it's just easier for me to show you that when I'm in this position right here, as opposed to being in a weight room. And maybe one day I'll actually do a live in my weight room so I can actually demonstrate some exercises at that time. Who knows? We'll see. We'll see. No promises though. Anyway, so when we think about going through the motion and just going through the motion just to say, well, I checked off my workout for today, it's all done. Do you really want it to be just about it's all done? Or do you really want to get something out of your workout for today? So for example, and you may want to grab a pen and paper right away, or you may want to come back with a pen and paper and take some notes. Ideally, how you know you're not just going through the motion of your workout, your strength training program, is that A, you go in with a plan. And that plan, and I'll give you my plan from today, my workout from today. My plan was shoulders and biceps. That plan then consists of exercises I'm going to do for those two body parts, shoulders and biceps. Then it's a plan of what's the weight that I'm going to work with, so I know exactly the weight I'm going to work with. So now this is really important for any of you who do work out in the gym, where you have lots of people around you, and how to navigate through the environment you are in, and also so you're not wasting time. Now, I'm going to digress a minute. I'm going to share an experience I had, oh my goodness gracious, probably over almost a year ago. And I'm not going to name the gym, I'm just going to talk about the gym. Because I'm not here to badmouth or criticize any gyms, I'm just sharing an experience that I had. So about a year ago, I was in a gym, I went with my daughter. And my daughter did inform me before we even got there. She said to me, Mom, just so you know, the members in the gym here are not very organized, so they do not put back their dumbbells. Their dumbbells are pretty much all scattered, so you're gonna have to look for what it is you're planning to work with, and it may take you a little time. And the only reason why she mentioned that to me before going to the gym with me was because she knows that I'm very, here's the word I'm gonna use, I'm very anal when it comes to what a weight room should look like in regards to being organized, being neat. So this way here, I'm not spending most of my time trying to find a weight that I'm gonna be working with. That I know that theoretically there's a rack of weights. Now, I've never been into a gym, not just a cardio section, or not just a group fitness class. And even group fitness classes have things in order. So for example, so you're in the weight room, there's a stack of weights and they're in order. So you may have your 5 pounds, you have your 10 pounds, your 15 pounds, however they go up, they're in order. Most of the time, I'm going to say 80% of the times the weights are in order in most gym environments. However, when I was at this gym and having a plan of what I was going to work, and then realizing that these equipment that they had, meaning the benches that they had, they didn't have a lot of benches. And some of the men who were working out were monopolizing a lot of the benches. Therefore, there was very little space or benches available for me to do what it was that I had intentions of doing. And mind you, I went in with my notebook and my pen because I had a plan. And very quickly, I had to revise my plan because what I intended to do, there was no equipment available for me to do. And I was not planning to just sit around and wait for everybody to be finished with what they were doing for me to get to my workout. So I very quickly revised my plan in my head, wrote out different exercises to do, which meant different body parts, had myself in order where I didn't really need a bench to work on because most of what I was doing, I could stand and do. So that eliminated the whole time factor of having a weight to use the bench. My second body part did require me to use the bench at some point, which was not a big deal. So anyway, long story short, as I'm doing my workout, I need the weights that I'm looking for. And I can't find them. I literally spent about 10 minutes looking for a 20-pound dumbbell. 10 minutes looking for a 20-pound dumbbell. I searched all around, under the bench, this thing, that thing. There were dumbbells all over the floor. My daughter looked at me and she goes, "What are you looking for, Mom?" I said, 20 pounds. She goes, "Well, the 20-pound may be on the other side of the gym." I'm like, "Why would the 20 pounds be on the other side of the gym?" "Well, sometimes the women take the weights over to the stretch area and they use the weights over there." And my comment was, "And they don't bring them back?" She goes, "Not always." So I was like, "Oh my goodness gracious." So ideally, I took a walk all the way to the other side of the gym where the stretch area was to find out there were no weights there. I come back, and at that point in the time, my body is getting cooled down because I've already wasted 10 minutes of my time trying to find weights. So, long story short, when I was done with the workout, my daughter and I left. The next morning, I called the gym and I made a complaint. Now, I want you to note this, that being in the industry for as long as I have been in more gyms than I can count. I have been in many gyms, big gyms, small gyms, garage gyms, you name it, I've been there. And I've never experienced what I experienced in this gym with the lack of organization, lack of like space, and just everything being in the order. It was just such everything was dismantled. And when I called to let them know, the person who I spoke to actually said to me, "Are you interested in joining?" And I was like, "No, I'm not." I said, "I'm not interested in joining." I said, "If this would be the only gym around, this would not be a gym I would be using because everything was a mess. And I wasted a lot of my time that I wanted to really invest in my workout looking for equipment." So now I'm going to come back to here. So reason it's so important that you have a plan and that you know where everything is. So if you're going to we'll use the word gym. If you're going to the gym for the first time, you've never trained there before, go to the gym and take a little tour around to see where everything is that you're going to need, from your dumbbells to your benches to whatever clips you need, and make sure you know where everything is. So this way here, you're not wasting your time. And it's not just about time alone, it's about the longer you go between one exercise or one set to the next set, and you're going longer than, let's say, a minute or two, your muscles, the blood in your muscles start to cool down. And when the muscles start to cool down, and let's say you go back to do the workout again, you're more at risk of hurting yourself because your muscles are cold now. So that's why it's so important to make sure that when you are going to exercise, you are going to work out with your weights, that you know exactly where everything is. And I'm not suggesting, and I just want to say hello to everyone who's popping in right now. Please let me know that you're here by saying hi, because I can see your comments. Let me know what you're feeling about this conversation that I'm having. Let me know that if you do strength train, and if you do, how many days a week you are strength training, and hang in there and see what you can learn about me or learn from this today. So as I was saying, so what I'm not suggesting is that you grab all the weights that you need and cluster them up next to you. That's not what I'm saying at all. Please do not do that. Only use the weight that you need at the time that you're using it. Once you're done with that weight, go and put it back. Go and put it back. So it's there and available for the next person that wants to use it. Now, of course, do not put it back after every set. Put it back when you're done with it and you need it again. Just keep it close by you. If someone, while you're resting, someone says, can I use that weight while you're resting? Gym etiquettes. Yes, you can. And let them use the weight, and then they'll give it back to you. This is the process of sharing when you're in the gym. This is the process of everyone getting along in the gym. So you're not going to cluster your weight by you and have all the weights that you need. You only use what you need at that moment, and then when you're done with it, you put it back where you found it. You don't leave it sitting on the floor, you put it back to where you found it. So now, once you have everything in order, you know where everything is, you can then begin what you have to do in regards to your workout. So you're not just going through the motion, you're not wasting your time, you're not gonna end up having to look for something for a long period of time and then risk the possibility of injuring yourself because your muscle did get cold. So now what do I mean by, are you just going through the motions with your workout? So for example, I'm sure if you do work out, and if you do not work out, there's going to be some new words for you. I want you to write them down, pay attention to them, because these words are important. There's two phases to an exercise. There's what we call an eccentric phase, and then there's a concentric phase. And the difference between the two, eccentric means that the muscle lengthens. The concentric phase means the muscle shortens. So now most of us are familiar with a bicep curl. Whether you're sitting or standing, it doesn't matter. When your arms are straight down before you actually go into the motion of the exercise, that's already in the eccentric phase because the muscle is long already. Once you curl and bring that weight up to your shoulders, you now moved into a concentric phase because you've shortened the angle of the bicep. And then you repeat it, you bring it back down, full range of motion, or keeping the elbow slightly soft without fully locking it out. Those are your eccentric and concentric phases that you do in every exercise. And they're extremely important because otherwise, if you're not allowing yourself to go into those two phases when you're working out, you might just very well just be dropping the weight. And by dropping the weight means you're not controlling the muscle that you are working on. So the muscle is not going to get the response that you want the muscle to get from that workout. So it's so important to pay attention. Like I said, every exercise has those two phases in them. When you do an overhead press, like I said, one of my favorite things to demonstrate, here's the muscle is short. So because the muscle is short here, this is your concentric phase because it's short. Eccentric, it lengthens. Concentric, it shortens. Eccentric lengthens. concentric shortens. And you must get that 90-degree angle. If you're only bringing your arms up here, notice the angle is not 90-degree. 90-degree, you bring it here where it actually comes into that 90-degree angle. Believe it or not, this is where the math that you learn in school comes into play. Yes, so you want that angle to take place. If you're holding your weights out here, you don't have the angle. It has to stay in here. Elongate it, shorten it out. Eccentrate, concentrate. Working in these two phases and being mindful of the workout that you are doing, the muscles that you are actually concentrating on. This way you're not just going through the motion. Here's another way of knowing that you're going through the motion and you're really not paying attention to what you're doing. If you can hold a conversation where someone comes over to you and they start talking to you while you're working out, there's no way possible. I don't care if you have a 1-pound dumbbell in your hand or you have a 60-pound dumbbell in your hand. There is no way possible if you are concentrating and you are paying attention to what it is you are doing with your workout. There is no way possible you can pay attention to what that person is saying to you. No way possible. Although, interesting enough, I witnessed specifically women, some men, where a person will stand by them and have a conversation with them while that person is lifting. My rule of thumb is when you have weights in your hand, your mouth, literally your lips become sealed, because the only thing you want to do when you have weights in your hand is focus on what it is you're about to do. Lips are sealed. In fact, I even suggest, and I do this with my clients all the time, conversations come to a halt the minute the weights come in your hand, because you really have to concentrate. And like I said, I've witnessed, I've worked with many clients where they literally want to have a conversation while they are in the actual exercise that they're doing. To me, that tells me a few things. A, you're not paying attention to what you're doing. And B, there's a good probability that what you are doing is not that the weight is too light, it's just that you have no clue of what it is you're focused on. So these are small little tips that I suggest that you implement to start to pay attention to what it is you are doing. So especially if you are in a gym environment and there's lots of people around you, and that someone comes over and they want to have a conversation with you while you're in the midst of lifting the weight. Say to them very nicely, I do not talk while I work out. Now, I know many people wear their headphones when they work out, and that's basically just so they don't get distracted by the other people around them and that no one comes over to them and starts a conversation. For me, most people know that when I'm in a gym environment and I'm working out, no one comes over to me while I'm working out because I'm so focused on what it is I'm doing. I have no idea that you're even around me. I will not even recognize that you were there when I have weights in my hand. Until I completely put the weights down is when I will actually say hi or even entertain a conversation. Because it's not about going through the motion. So it really is very important for you to pay attention to what it is you are doing on every exercise that you are doing. Now, you may be saying to yourself, well, I'm familiar with this exercise and the weight is comfortable, so I can hold the conversation. If the weight is comfortable and you're familiar with it, means that you need to increase the weight. The weight should not be comfortable. Your whole process here is not to go through the motion. Your whole process is to progress. So again, if you can literally do your bicep curls and hold a conversation with the person that's standing next to you, and be able to keep count and actually focus on that bicep workout, there's a good probability that weight is not challenging enough for you. It's not that you're talented, it's not that you can do multitasking, it's because you're not focusing. So again, rule of thumb is the minute you have weights in your hand, you literally zip your lips and stay focused on what it is you are doing. So you can get the results that you are looking to get. And believe me when I say, the minute you change this around where you've really become aware of what you are doing and you're just not going through the motion, you're going to start to see results immediately. You will literally start to feel the muscle working while you're actually working out, because you have that mind-body connection. You know that when you are doing your standing bicep curls, the biceps is what's working. And you know that every time you curl that weight up, that muscle's getting tight. And every time you're releasing it back down, the muscle's getting long again. And you can feel that, and you can actually feel it working. You're not feeling it in your wrists, you're not feeling it in your elbows, you're not feeling it in your shoulders, you're feeling it in your biceps. So I like to invite you, the next time you do your workout, if you haven't done it already today, make sure you get it in. Pay attention to what you are doing. And as I've said, don't just go through the motions. Bring your notebook in, your pen, and know exactly what it is you're going to be doing in that workout. If you're working like I did today, shoulders and biceps, I knew exactly what exercises I was going to be working on. I knew exactly the weight that I was going to be using. The only thing I did not know what I was going to be doing are the repetition. I had an estimated idea, but I wasn't 100% sure. Based on my last workout, I knew what the repetition mark was. Ideally for today, it was, okay, can I do a little bit more than I did the last time? Or will my repetitions be what they were the last workout? And then I may have to go back and look a few pages prior to see if I've increased anything in let's say, the last week or two. And usually I will do that before I go to the gym, before I get into my workout. I will always review my notes of that workout to see what I've done over the last 3 weeks, to see if this current workout is going to be the day where there's a progression. So for example, for today, for me, I added an exercise that I don't often do. And I do this often where every once in a while I'll throw in not a new exercise, but a different exercise that hits the same body part, and to challenge the muscle a little bit. Today I did just that. So I knew right off the bat that the exercise was going to be what's called the 21 easy curl bar using easy curl. I knew what weight I was going to work with. I didn't have the best clips to work with, which was a bummer, but I was able to manage. And I knew that this was going to take place at the end of my bicep workout. So I would do my normal 2 exercises, and then the easy curl 21s came in at the end. So I knew right off the bat the repetitions, because it's called 21s, the repetition calls for 7 repetitions for each angle that I was working in. Now, if you're not familiar with a 21 for biceps, and you could do this with an easy curl bar, a straight bar, or even dumbbells, your preference. It just means that you start from your thighs and you bring in the weight midway up, that your wrist and your elbow literally meet. You do that 7 times. And then the next part of that, which you continue, there's no rest, then you go from your wrist to your elbow up to your shoulders for 7 times. And then you do full range from your thigh to your shoulder for 7 times. So it adds up to be 21 repetitions before you completely rest the bar or dumbbells down. So that was different for me. So knowing your, as I like to call it, your recipe of what you're going to be doing during that workout, this way here you have it all planned out, and you scope out wherever it is you are working out at. And you save yourself a lot of time, and you move through what you have to do. Now, when we think about this process of, are you going through the motion of things, also want to pay attention to your rest period, because again, that plays a big part of, are you going through the motion? How long do you need to rest per set? Now that varies for what it is you're doing. So for example, if you are somebody that is doing a pyramid set. Now I spoke about this yesterday, so if you caught my live yesterday, you've heard about this. And if you didn't catch my live yesterday, then you're going to hear it today. A pyramid set means that you're going to work with 3 different weights, and your repetitions are going to vary. So your first set of weights, and let's just say for argument's sake, we're doing overhead press, and you start with 10 pounds. So you do 10 pounds, and we're going to do anywhere from 10 to 12 repetitions. The idea is you want to challenge your shoulders. So once you start to feel like your shoulders are getting tired, Your rep range is 10 to 12. If you can do more than 12 repetitions on that first set, then you know that first set of weight was a little light for you. Doesn't matter because you're going to go up anyway. So the second set of weight, which is why it's pyramiding, second set of weight is 12 reps. Now, before we go into that second set of weight, let's talk about the rest period for a minute. So you know you're going to be increasing your weight. You got your first set in. Rest period. How long theoretically should you need to rest before you go ahead and start again? My rule of thumb is one of two. Until your breathing is back to normal. So if you found that after that first set of overhead press, and maybe you're a beginner, so that 10 pounds is heavy, when you're done, you're out of breath. You're breathing heavy. So you want to wait till your breath comes back to normal, that you're not panting. And then once your breath is back to normal, then you're ready for your second set. The other way that you can rest and know how long to rest is get some water. Take a sip of water. And that too would help bring your body temperature down and get your breathing back to normal. Once you've had that sip of water, give yourself another 10 seconds and go for it again. Third way of determining your rest period is about 30 seconds to no more than a minute. Now, unless you are lifting extremely heavy, then maybe you may need a 2-minute rest. That is the maximum amount of rest that I recommend. And that's only if you're lifting extremely heavy. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, what defines extremely heavy? That is something you would have to determine for yourself. What is extremely heavy? Well, I can actually give you an example. So let's say the place that you're working out doesn't have weights that go up by, let's say, a quarter pound, a pound, or 2.5 pounds. Let's say the weight increases by a 5 pound or 10 pound. Many years back, the gym I used to work out at, their weights didn't increase by 5 pounds. Their weights increased by 10. So if I started with a 10 pound, the next weight up, if I was increasing, went to 20 pounds. That's a 10 pound difference. So if you know after your first set of doing your overhead with 10 pounds, that your next set is going to be 20 pounds, that's a 10 pound increase. That's where you may want to take out rest period, especially after that second set. Especially if you are pyramiding. So this is again about pyramiding. Pyramiding means that you're increasing the weight every set. Upon increasing the weight every set, you're decreasing, excuse me, your repetition every set. Very important to pay attention to. And the rep range for first set would be anywhere between 10 to 12. Excuse me. Second set, rep range will be anywhere between 8 to 10. Third set, rep range will be anything from 8 to 6. And if for whatever the reason why you might want to do a fourth set, then it would be 6 to 4 for whatever the reasons are. And some people like to do that fourth set for whatever. So this is how you know, excuse me. This is how you plan it out so you are not just going through the motion of your workout. Everything is very well planned out. Everything is very well planned out. Your rest periods are planned out. You know exactly how long every set of rest is going to take. And you can even write it on your sheet of paper that after that exercise that you did, after you did that first set of overhead press for 10 pounds, you rested for 30 seconds. You're ready to go for your next set. You go heavier. Your second set, now again, if you went up by 10 pounds for your second set, you may find that second set, you're going to rest a little longer. You may rest 45 seconds. You may rest a full minute. Write it down. Because by writing this down, again, this is how you can determine your progression as well. As you're jotting everything down and you're understanding your rest period, you can then determine the next time you do this body part, this exercise specifically, and you're checking out your rest periods, You could determine based on how long you're resting, and that's going to determine how you're getting stronger. As you are getting stronger in regards to strength, you're also getting stronger in regards to endurance. And that means you'll be able to do something where the weight is heavier and you're not going to be as tired because you're getting stronger. So these are all important reasons to log down everything so you know that when you're doing your next workout, specifically that particular exercise, that you're not just going to go through the motion. It really becomes like a science to everything. And by doing this, you also get a general idea that once you add up everything in reference to how long it took you to do that one exercise. So for example, you're back to your overhead press. You look at the time to when you started. It might have taken you a full minute to do the exercise. So you know that exercise took you 1 minute. You rested 1 minute. So now let's just say for argument's sake, all of your sets you're resting for a full minute and all of your sets you're performing it for 1 minute. You do 3 sets. So 3 times 2, because you got 2 minutes for each set, you're looking at a 6-minute exercise. 6-minute exercise just from that one exercise alone. When you get down to the science of it, this is how you know you're not just going through the motions of things. You are becoming very, very, very super clear on how long everything's taking. And those rest periods are extremely important in reference to your results and your recovery. So if you're resting too long, you may not get to see the results you're looking for. If you're resting too short, you may not get to see the results you're looking for. So it's really important that you're not just going through the motion of what it is you are doing. And anybody that is serious about doing a workout, if you are investing your time in your workout, whether your workout is a 10-minute workout, or you go in there and you're going hardcore, you're doing 45 minutes, 1 hour max, and I say that max, you do not want to be in your gym environment, whether it's in a gym or your home environment, wherever you do your workout, you do not want to be in that workout space for more than an hour. If you are working out for more than an hour, theoretically, you are going through the motion. And what do I mean by that? I mean, after a certain point of time, what happens to your muscles is they sort of shut down. They shut down. They're not going to continue at the intensity that you want them to work on just because you want to be in the gym. And this is also for those of you who may do total body workouts. 1 hour. If you're in that gym and you're working out for more than 1 hour, you're not going to get the results you're looking to see because you're overtraining your muscle, and good probability is you're going through the motion. I know for me, my workout, most of the time, it's 2 muscles that I work at a cap. 2 muscles. Today, shoulders and biceps. My leg day is all legs. That includes quadriceps, hamstrings, buttocks, inner thighs, outer thighs, calves. 6 parts on my legs are what I work on leg day. Then on Monday, back and triceps, 2 body parts. Thursday, chest and triceps, 2 body parts. Now, depending on the body part you're choosing, just because it's 2 body parts, it's going to vary. For example, for me, when I work back, and here's my back workout, my general back workout, and it changes every now and again. I start with pull-ups. I go into lat pull down. I then go into a seated pulley row. Then I do a 1-arm row. And then I do back extensions. Every once in a while, I'll throw in a high pull down. So that's 6 exercises just for back. 6 exercises just for back. Now going back, remember when we were talking about that one exercise, overhead press, and you're resting, the actual exercise takes 1 minute, you're resting for 1 minute. So that's 2 minutes for that one set, and you did 3 sets, so that's a 6-minute set. So think about it, if every exercise you do is 6 minutes set, and you have 6 exercises, just think about that time that you're accumulating by being in the gym. So if you factor out the body parts you are doing and how many exercises you're doing for each body part, that should give you a cap of how long your workout's going to take you, because you know exactly your rest period. Now, I do want to have you keep in mind that There's other factors that come in play. Now, of course, if you have the luxury where you're working out and there's no one there with you except you don't have interference. You don't have to worry about someone coming in and getting in your way, and you got to wait for them to use what you needed. You don't have any interference. However, if you're working out in the gym and there's other people there with you, you do have to pay attention to the fact that that may slow you down. Another thing that may slow you down is based on your rest, how tired you are. Are you full of energy and moving, or maybe the night before you didn't get the best sleep, so you're tired. So you might be moving a little slower. I want you to note that in your book as well, because if you're not 100%, it's okay, but give yourself grace and know that you may move a little slower. So for example, for me, depending on my legs, and as I've said earlier, I've had hip replacement and I've had surgery done on my left hip because of fatty tumors. My hips themselves get tight at times, just due to the energy work that I do. So that itself may cause my workouts to be a little slower, where I gotta move a little slower. And I know that. Therefore, I know that that workout might take a little longer that day, only because I have to move according to how my body's feeling. And I want you to pay attention to that as well. And I want you to note that in your book. Pay attention to what's going on with your entire body based on how you are feeling. Did you get enough rest? Did you have a good meal prior to the workout? Did you have a stressful day? All these things are going to come into play in reference to the reasons why you may need a longer rest period in your set. So it's very important to pay attention. So if you notice that usually on your overhead press second set, you only need about a minute rest, but for that day, your second set, you might need a minute and a half because you're just tired, and you need to take that minute and a half. Note it in your book so you're aware to why that extra 30 seconds came into play. So you don't get hard on yourself, and you're recognizing that you're not just going through the motion, it's just that there was something going on. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, if I'm tired, should I be doing my workout? Yes. Yes, you should. Yes, you should. You just go a little slower, like I just said. Your rest period will be a little longer because you're tired. Chances are midway through the workout, you probably will wake up. If your body's a little tight or stiff, or maybe a little sore from the previous workout, chances are midway through the workout, you're going to start to feel better. You'll start getting into the groove of it. Okay, so just paying attention. So this way here, you're not just going through the motions of your workout, because you're investing your time and energy in going to do your workout. You want to get the results you're looking for, so you don't want to just go through the motion. So again, 2 words again for those of you who are new to this: the eccentric, concentric phases. Eccentric just means the muscle is lengthened. Concentric means the muscle is shortened. Every exercise has those 2 phases in it. You want to make sure you're utilizing those phases. This way here you get the most from the workout that you are doing. And I always suggest, if you are beginning and you're not sure how to get started, go start with the pyramid sets. 3 sets, find 3 different weights, use those rep range like I said, and whatever the weight is, whatever the exercise is, your first set of reps are 10 to 12. Your second set's going to be 8 to 10. Third set's going to be 6 to 8, 8 to 6 rather. The next time you do that same exercise, you're going to look at that page and you're going to knock off the first set. So your second set's going to become your first set. And you're going to use that as your first set. Your third set's going to be your second set. And then your third set, you're going to add a new weight. And you'll work with that, again, depending on your rep load. Work with that probably for 3 weeks, for your pyramiding for 3 weeks. So by the 3rd week, you're going to get a general idea of what weight is going to challenge you. And then you can start playing where you stay with that weight and do whatever it is you're doing. You may like pyramid setting, and you may want to do that every workout. That's up to you. That's really specifically your goals. And again, the idea again is to not just go through the motion, but pay attention to what your body's feeling like when you are increasing the weight and dropping the reps. Pay attention that if you increase the weight and your reps were the same based on the first set of weight, then theoretically you know that weight is not challenging enough because you were just able to do the same amount of repetition. Now, again, another thing to pay attention to as you are working out, and your rep ranges are the same for every exercise for each set. Pay attention. Is it the same repetition because you're just going through the motion of it? Or is it at a point where you're paying attention? That's what you can do. Now, again, rule of thumb, if you can get 12 repetition with any weight that you're working with, especially the last set of whatever it is you're doing, there's a good indication. You want to make a little note that the next time you do that exercise, you want to take it up. You do not want to get 12 reps. 12 reps is your starting point. By the time you hit your third set, if you're still able to do 12 reps, whatever the weight is, that weight is not going to challenge you. Again, you don't want to just go through the motion. This is so important for you to pay attention to. I want to see you get results. I know your time is valuable, and I don't want you to be in your workout space and investing in your time to be there, and not at the end of your 6-week process that you look back and say, well, I'm not seeing results. I'm not seeing results. Well, why are you not seeing results? Let's take a look at your workout book and see what's going on there. Now, if you look at your workout book 6 weeks later and you're realizing like everything's 12 reps and you're working with the same weight, or there's where you're not going to get your results, and there's where you just go into the motion of things. So it's so important to pay attention. You may even notice, because I noticed this when I work with my clients, that maybe the first set you got to 12 reps. And the second set with the same weight, your reps dropped because of form. I'm a stickler for form. If you're doing your curls and I see that your first set, you can get that 12 or 10, we're going to use the same weight for the second set. And maybe that second set with that same weight, you're not able to get 10 because now you're getting tired, even though you're working with the same weight. So you end up doing less reps. That's okay. You're still going to get something out of it. You're still going to get something out of it. So it's so important to make sure you are logging what it is you are doing so you can go back and review the last workout and what your intentional goals are for this particular workout. You always want to have a goal set. You always want to have an idea where you're looking for this workout to go. So this way here at the end of that workout, you're going to feel good about yourself because you're going to say, wow, there's going to be progress here because of X, Y, and Z. Last week, now, if you follow me on Facebook, I do a daily check-in where I go to check in and I go under the name of my business and I type in the body part I work for the day. And last Thursday, I think it was, I finally hit 40 repetitions on push-ups. Now, if you've been following me for a really, really long time, you know that in theory, I can actually do 100 push-ups. In fact, I forget what year it was, wasn't that long ago. I did a Facebook Live where I literally did 100 push-ups live, straight through, no resting. However, through the last year and a half in my moving and a lot of repetition on my arm from packing or whatever not, I strained my elbow and my shoulder. So being able to get push-ups or any body part, any exercise for that matter, was a challenge for me. So I didn't want to take them out altogether, so I was doing only what I was able to do. Most of the time, I did the minimum amount of repetitions that I would allow myself to do was 20. I wouldn't allow myself to do less than 20 reps. And then from that point on, I made a deal with myself that I was going to challenge myself to increase my push-ups so many weeks until eventually I get to a certain point. Now, you guys as my witness, my goal is to reach 50 push-ups. And once I get to 50 push-ups, then my next question that I'm going to have for myself is, where do I go from there? Am I going to then take it into a second set and see what I can do on the second set and eventually reach 2 sets of 50? Or am I going to try to progress it where I can get to 60 repetitions and then 70 repetitions and eventually build it up to the 100 repetition? Not sure, and I'll keep you posted. So the reason why I brought up last week's workout, last Thursday's workout, is because last Thursday I actually hit the 40 repetition mark. Yay for me. And I recommend that when you are progressing in something, you recognize your progression. You give yourself the applause because no one else is going to applaud you. You go ahead and post it on Facebook like, yes, I did my squats today and I did 12 reps with whatever weight. If you're doing barbell squats, maybe you're doing 12 reps with 100 pounds on your shoulders, whatever it is. Recognize what it is you've done, that literally every time you're doing that exercise, your goal is to progress. Recognize it. Pay attention to it, because those small progressions and you letting people know about it, it picks you up. It helps you to push yourself again. So pay attention to that. So yes, last Thursday, I did 40 repetition. I think I shared the song What a Feeling, because wow, it was such a feeling to do 40 repetition. I have push-ups to do tomorrow night. My goal and hope is to get those 40 push-ups in, because I did them last week. So the idea is to be consistent with it. And that's the same process. And I'm going to leave you with this as well. The consistency of what it is you are doing, which is why you keep a journal. Your consistency. So whatever the exercise you are doing, so again, me doing push-ups, consistently doing my push-ups once a week. So when I I do them, I'm able to progress it by whether it's 5 or 10 repetitions or 3 repetitions. Now, I have an old school mindset, meaning when I train, I'm not going to increase my repetition by 2. It's either going to be increased by 5 or 10. That's old school training that I am in. Like I said, I've been training since I'm 12. So that's my old school mindset. When I work with clients like yourself, I do not hold that same mindset. I'm a little gentle and more graceful with all of you than I am with myself, only because I know what I am capable of doing. I know that I can push myself to do a little bit more. I need to hold a little grace and kindness for each and every one of you. So this way here, I keep you safe. So that is the big goal here. So again, are you just going through the motion of your workout? And if you are going through the motion of your workout, as of today, I encourage you to stop doing that. Get really, really super, super focused when you're going to do your workout. Pay attention to the time you start your workout. Pay attention to the time you finish your workout. Pay attention to your rest after each set. Pay attention to how long it takes you to do that workout. All of this is very important, because when you actually know exactly the time to each thing, that's how you're going to see your results. That's how you're going to see your results. So if you know to do a lat pull down to finish out that set, it may take you 45 seconds. You know it took you 45 seconds. Keep in mind, the less reps you do, the less time it takes. Okay, so keep that in mind as well. Once again, if you need any assistance, if you have any questions or comments, please, if you're watching from Facebook, put those questions in the comments. If you happen to be watching this on my YouTube channel and you have questions, feel free to email healingwithin76@gmail.com. Put all your questions in. I'll be more than happy to answering your questions through email. And for those of you who are watching this and you are interested in getting to know where you are with your training, maybe you're not seeing results, maybe you're bored with your workout, maybe you're just intimidated and you're not going to the gym, maybe you put on extra weight and you're like, oh shit, I can't go to the gym right now, I have to figure out how to get rid of this first before I can go to the gym. Stop the excuses. Let me help you out. Go ahead and email for a 15-minute self-growth discovery session. It's complimentary, where you and I can have a conversation. I can see where you're at with your training, and I can help you get to where you got to go, so you do not continue to just go through the motion of your workout. I want you to see results. I want you to see results. All right, guys, this is day 10 of my 30-day challenge. I will be back. Tomorrow's Thursday. I plan to be back sometime tomorrow. If for whatever the reasons I don't get back tomorrow, I will be back here on Sundays. Remember, Friday and Saturdays are my days off for my challenge, but I will be back to share some more with you and post those questions. Let me know if you have any. If you are tracking your timing, for your sets in regards to how long it takes you to do the set. What is your rest period? How long is your overall workout? Let me know that. I'd be really curious to know if you are that intentional with your training, because it's really important to better understand your results based on how long you're actually resting. So again, if you're finding that you're resting for more than a minute and a half or 2 minutes and your weight is not increasing for that type of rest period, you're resting too long. And that means you're just going through the motions of things. I want you to see results. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your day. Till next time when we get together. Bye-bye for now.